Have you ever noticed something unsettling? No matter what happens to them, insults, pressure, chaos, disrespect. Some people never flinch, not because they're confident, not because they're fearless, but because nothing reaches them. And that does something terrifying to the people around them. Welcome to Dark Mind Academy. This is where psychological advantages aren't taught, they're exposed. And today, you're going to understand the rarest form of power most humans never develop, the ability to be unreactable. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Most people are easy to control, not physically, psychologically, because they react. They react to tone, they react to disrespect, they react to pressure, they react to expectations, and every reaction is a handle. If I can predict what makes you emotional, I can steer you. That's why manipulation doesn't look like force. It looks like triggering. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. If someone can provoke you, they can command you. Reaction is obedience in disguise. Think about it. Why does mockery work? Why does disrespect sting? Why does pressure break people? Because the brain treats emotional stimulation as something that must be answered, and most people answer immediately. That's the trap. Unreactable individuals break this loop, not by suppressing emotion, not by pretending not to care, but by disconnecting their identity from external input. That's the key difference. Most people merge their identity with opinions, status, outcomes, how they're perceived. So when any of those are attacked, the nervous system panics. Unreactable people don't defend identity because their identity isn't exposed. There's nothing to hit. This is why insults bounce off them. An insult only works if it lands on something fragile. No attachment, no reaction. And the person throwing the insult feels something strange. Power loss, because the attack didn't register. Let's go deeper. Human interaction is built on feedback loops. You speak, I react. You adjust, I respond again. That loop is how influence works. Now imagine someone who refuses to complete the loop. You provoke, nothing happens. You pressure, nothing shifts. You escalate, still nothing. Your brain starts spiraling. Because control requires feedback. No feedback, no leverage. This is why calm people unsettle emotional ones. Not because calm is superior, but because unpredictability threatens control. When someone doesn't react how they're supposed to, the brain starts searching for a new strategy. That's when people overextend, overtalk, overexplain, overreact. And in that moment, hierarchy flips. Here's something darker. Most people think they want emotional strength. What they actually want is emotional invisibility. Strength still draws challenge. Invisibility draws avoidance. People don't challenge what they can't read, and unreadable individuals become mentally untouchable. Now let's talk about provocation. Provocation is a test. When someone pokes at you verbally, emotionally, socially, they're asking one question. Can I move you? The moment you react, you've answered yes. Unreactable individuals don't answer tests. They let the tester fail publicly, and nothing humiliates like unanswered attempts at control. This is why silence works, but not the way people think. Silence isn't power. What silence reveals is power. Anyone can stay quiet. Few can stay unmoved. The real signal isn't the lack of words, it's the lack of urgency. Urgency exposes dependency, and dependency is weakness in social dynamics. Let's break a myth. Being unreactable doesn't mean being passive. It means choosing response instead of reflex. Reflex is animal, response is deliberate. Most people live in reflex. Tone changes, they react. Energy shifts, they react. Disrespect appears, they react. Unreactable people pause, and in that pause, they decide whether engagement is even worth the cost. Often it isn't. Here's where this becomes dangerous. When people realize they can't control you emotionally, they stop trying to dominate you and start trying to appeal to you. Tone softens. Words become careful. Behavior adjusts. Not because you demanded it, but because resistance failed. That's the highest form of psychological leverage. Now let's talk about why most people can't do this. Because reaction feels justified. Anger feels righteous. Defense feels necessary. Explaining feels logical. But justification doesn't equal control. Every emotional outburst feels good in the moment and costs authority long-term. Unreactable people trade short-term relief for long-term positioning. Here's the final truth. The world isn't run by the loudest, or the strongest, or the most confident. It's run by the least movable, the person who cannot be rushed, cannot be baited, cannot be emotionally hijacked. When nothing can pull you off center, everything else begins to orbit you. If this rewired how you see interaction, you already understand the next step. Subscribe to Dark Mind Academy on YouTube. Follow on TikTok for sharper psychological cuts. And comment this below. Reaction is permission. Because once you stop reacting, you stop being controlled. And most people never forgive you for that.